Hello, this is Nick995. For this video, I'm going to be ranking playtime for PS3. So, the amount of time I spent on, and the most amount of time I spent on the game, and the closer I get to one, the more time I spent on that game. So yeah, and it's only gonna have 15 games because if I was to go over all 55, it would take too long. The video would be too long. It'd be like near an hour and a half over 55 PS3 games. So I want to keep it under 20 minutes. So, watching this, like, subscribe, share the video. Please share. I see that my views have gone down, unfortunately. So, please share the video. I want to get more views. Pressing that subscribe watermark down there, please. Okay, and let's get started. No, number 15 is Uncharted 3. Uncharted 3, you guys know. Oh, no. Oh, God. Uncharted 3, action adventure, tons of story, great cinematics, tons of see, puzzles and all that. The puzzles, you're gonna be stuck in loopholes, and you're obviously going for treasures, and there's gonna be a booby trap, so you're gonna be trapped, which is gonna add more to the playtime, and you're gonna figure out what do you do in this puzzle. There'll be a certain loophole where you be lost, or like you might have to climb a certain way. There's no map, obviously, so you gotta climb up a certain way, and then you gotta find your way onto the next area. The enemies, like, you'll die a lot, and as well there's not a single player, but it's multiplayer. The multiplayer adds more to the playtime as well, which is fun. It's challenging, very, like, it's really difficult. I really got a time. I take cover, stealth, and all that. 14 is Resident Evil 5. I always say Resident Evil 2 remake, but 5 Gold Edition, it came with everything. You had Mercenaries, which is like an arcade mode. You had the story. You had the DLC storylines as well. You had the multiplayer, which I didn't play, but all those that with the Mercenaries arcade, the story, the DLC storylines, which adds an alternate perspective. It all comes down up to around 25 hours, and I replay the story a lot of times. And with the Mercenaries mode, you're like in kind of these it's kind of like zombies, but it's a time trial where you gotta complete that. You gotta try and do it within a certain amount of time. Finish that mission within a certain amount of time, or kill, or like every time there's these time mirages which you gotta hit, and then like it'll give you more time and all that. Yeah, but yeah, a gold edition, and really fun. Tons in this game. There's tons, and with the campaign you can replay with infinite ammo, making the game easier, but you can still die. And there's tons of different. There's cosmetics as well, uniform sets, and weapon. There's tons of weapons. Yeah. Next one is gonna be God of War 2 and God of War 1. It's really the same game. No, different game, but both games were remastered. As soon as I can find it here. Here we go. God of War 1 and 2 now. 2 being shorter than 1, but 1 is a really, really long game. I played it 2 times, and 2 to 3 times, and it all comes up to like 32 hours. With all of those 3 times playing. With 2, it's a little less, but there's tons, and it's just the story mode. It's very long, and tons of boss fights. And God of War has something where there's the artifacts, where you can, with the artifacts, you recollect them. You recollect these. No, not artifacts. You get like these artifacts, and then they'll add new game plus bonuses. So like you can replay the game on infinite health, or infinite magic, or with infinite rage, or whatever. Yeah, so it makes the game easier, but like it's interesting to see how quickly you can get through this boss, an annoying boss, and with this. So replayability, and just playing the story on normal, then playing it on hard, then on the ultimate difficulty, which I believe is Titan, which can add a lot to the time. There's tons. So yeah, so and you're gonna be playing it longer. Obviously, like on the hard difficulty, you're gonna be playing it through longer. So that's 13, 12. Number 11 is Last of Us 1. Last of Us 1 obviously being You guys know Last of Us, one of the greatest PlayStation exclusives. But Last of Us 1, it's a really long. It's a really long journey. It seems it drags. Similar to Uncharted. I mean, Naughty Dogs, which is the company down here, really does a good job of making those long, like really long, campaigns and stories. But great, great cinematics, voice acting, dialogue, and all those things. It all adds up to a great experience. And playing through it, you're obviously gonna be stuck in certain areas. You're not gonna know where to go. There's no map. There's gonna be areas where you gotta be stealthy. Otherwise, it's obviously a zombie apocalypse. Otherwise, you're gonna get chewed up, killed, or there's enemy soldiers, so you're gonna be stealthy against them. Otherwise you'll get shot up. And if you play in a hard mode, it's even harder. And that's it's a really tricky game. Really tricky. And you're not gonna get that. And another thing too, there's ammo is very limited. You're not gonna get a whole lot of ammo, so you're gonna be going around looking a lot for ammo, and ammo is very precious. And you get things like the flamethrower, a sniper rifle, a regular rifle, a assault rifle, a pistol, and all that. But there's tons, and then and then there's tons of different little areas. So you're gonna wanna replay the game. And every time I replay it, there's a new areas that I remember. And so replayability adds to the playtime, and the DLC story, which adds another 3 to 4 hours, which looks at Ellie's past. It looks a little bit at her past. Now that's number 11, and number 10 is going to be Infamous 1. Infamous 1 I replayed must 3 to 4 times or 4 to 5 times over the years. And there's tons of Infamous, and there's tons of memories for this game. And it obviously being one of the first PS3 games I played, and it was very unique in that with this game you could really take advantage of the superpower, where this one, like, you really feel like you're controlling electricity. That's his whole power set. But replaying it, you can there's obviously good and there's an evil perspective on a campaign, where you make certain decisions, whether it be morally good or bad. Or so with each a campaign, or each time you play through the story, you get to approach it differently. With this good versus evil, and then you get to do it again and again and again, and it's really fun. You miss dialogue and see how this choice impact that, and there's tons of upgrades to get, which with each karma system, with the obviously, like when you're bad you got red lightning, or when you're good you got blue lightning. But with the red lightning, there's different power sets and different upgrades that you can get, different ways in which you can use your power. So replayability, like I must have played at least 40 hours of this game. And that's counting all the times that I've replayed it. Number 9 is Arkham City. Arkham City down here. Arkham City, no, this is the DLC. No, what am I saying? It comes with the DLC with the Harley Quinn Revenge, where you play as Robin and Harley Quinn is out to get you. I get you. I don't want to say much, otherwise it's going to be spoilers, but there's the challenge mode, the DLC mode, there's the Riddler trophies, and the story mode, which adds, and replaying the story mode, which adds. I must have played through the story 4 to 5 times. But along with that, the challenge mode, which adds like so many countless amount of hours into it, which there's challenges where you act stealthy, and then there's other one where there's combat based challenges where you gotta take out enemies within a certain amount of time, and then with each map there's you can approach it differently. You can obviously Batman, Nightwing, Robin, and Catwoman. So where each character has their own score, has their own leaderboard based score. So yeah, you get to approach it differently, and they obviously fight different. They obviously have different play styles. Now the campaign, every time I play through it, I'm playing through it again and again. I always learn something new, and there's always a piece of dialogue that I might have missed. And dialogue is very easy to miss in games, where especially some of the really important parts where a character says this and reveals this, and you might want to go back to really hear it again. There's tons of that. So again, replayability, and As well as that, the Riddler trophies and the side missions. There's side missions for Zaz, which is like that guy that puts the tax on his skin every time he kills somebody. There's Deadshot, there's Bane, there's Hugo Strange, and Rachel al Ghul, and there's a Catwoman. You also play through Catwoman's perspective a little bit, which adds more to the playtime. So you're looking at about, I must have played this over 50 hours of this game, and that's including everything in it. New City. And next is Bad Company 2. Right here, Bad Company 2 Battlefield. No, I don't know why this again. EA needs to make another Bad Company 3, but Bad Company 2 really, the greatness about it is the multiplayer. That's really its gem. That's really like where it shines the most. The maps, you obviously go in tanks and a room around the world you go to. So playing the multiplayer, I must have played countless hours in the multiplayer. I don't know, like more than 50 hours, because I know you can't play it much because obviously this is a 11-year-old game. The servers, almost nobody's playing on it. But if you're playing this now, or like back then, like when a lot of people were playing it, it'll be it's really fun. It's really, really fun, repetitive. It's more action packed than the first one, but with a lacking certain not as many maps, and the maps are still great. You had like there's tons of great maps where you want to play. You go to grassland areas, desert areas, and snowy areas, and bush areas, and all that. There's tons to see. But great, like really great. And I didn't even play the DLC. Like I never played the DLC for this, which would have added another 3 hours, 4 or like 10 hours into it. So, and as well as single player as well, which adds another 5 hours into it. Looking at over like 60 plus hours plus 5 hours plus really another, like, I don't even know, like I'm making like a rough estimate, but I played countless of matches, countless of online matches. Next one is God of War 3. God of War 3, similar to God of War, the first couple of God of Wars, where it's long. It's really, really long. And like Sony, especially Sony does a great job with, you obviously have the super long campaign, really the super long campaigns. Action adventure, and this action adventure hack and slash, and replaying it, there's boss fights, and there's costume bonuses where each costume has its own bonus, but you gotta play through the game first to unlock the costume. And where, for example, like you will replay the game with infinite magic, or you will replay the game with 4 times as much damage, or the enemies can't do as much damage to you. So every costume has its own buff. There's a nice costume where you can play the game where Kratos basically has, instead of the red paint, he has a blue paint. It looks so cool. Well, yeah, interesting, very interesting how the boss fights, it takes up. You're gonna, wish you play. Now again, it's similar. I played first on normal when I first played it, and then I played again on hard. Then you got Chaos, Titan. So you got it's almost like you're playing on hard, and you got very hard, and you got very, very, very hard, which is I believe it's God difficulty. You got, I can't remember, but you got hard, Chaos, Titan, God difficulty, something like that. So yeah, you're gonna be dying a lot, which replayability, lots of replayability, lots, and tons of story here. And it's the end. Spoilers. It's the end of the era to Kratos' time in the Greek timeline. So tons of story. There's a lot to see here, and a replayability, and as well they add challenges. They add a challenge where you basically have to fight a version of yourself, and that can add like another 30 minutes into it. It's relatively quick, but it's challenging. Next one is gonna be Infamous 2. Infamous 2, they had. Now, I talked a lot about Infamous 2. Infamous 2 now improved upon the first game with the mechanics and upgrades, but really with Infamous 2, it makes it long again. The story, Sony again with the long stories, you have the side missions, and as well you got the collectibles where you collect these. I forgot what they call raise sphere fragments, and then they expand the capacity for your power. So how much electricity you can store. So you basically go around the world looking for these orbs. There's about 300 of them. You go around, and there's lots of side missions, lots of side missions. Every time you do something, there's a new side mission pops up. No, I know what I mean. Like every time you do a story mission, no, like I feel like 2 more side missions will pop up where, and then yeah. So I must have replayed this through the actual story. Like there's a story itself 78 times over the years, and I had this since 2013. So okay, like 8 years of replaying it over 9-10 times. The story over like 90, 7 over like 80 hours into it. And the UGC missions where people can actually generate your own missions. You generate your own missions. You can create your own platforming, and again, there's tons of climbing and aerial power sets in this one. So it adds more to the playtime. And as well, there's the one where Cole here is a vampire, so which is a DLC. So again, that adds another 5 hours onto it. Infamous 2, Modern Warfare 3. We're in the top 5 now. That's number 6. Now Modern Warfare 2. Oh, not 2. Modern Warfare 3. I didn't have 2 for this. No, 3. I played multiplayer a whole lot. Even when I back on me 2. Now multiplayer I must have played like over 80 hours into it back in the day, and then you had the campaign and you had Spec Ops. Spec Ops is like zombies, except with Spec Ops now you're basically fighting soldiers, and soldiers, juggernauts, helicopters, and all that. And you can call on different airstrikes, and there's waves. But I must have played through that many hours, and the multiplayer, the campaign. I replayed like 3 to 4 times. But the multiplayer is what really adds. Like that's where these games shine. Again, FPS games. And back in the day, I played FPS games more. Not so much anymore. I don't play them as much anymore. But yeah. And then next one is gonna be. Oh man, this is kind of tricky. But Skyrim really being, this is 4. Now you can put countless hours on Skyrim. Endless exploration, endless everything. Like almost everything is endless. Now, I only played through Skyrim 1 or 2 times because it's so expansive in that like you playing it 1 time is like you playing. Really playing through it 3 times, because you're gonna be so immersed into the world where it is endless. You're going after quest after quest after quest after quest. There's tons of people to meet and NPCs and lots of lore behind the world and the Elder Scrolls. Obviously, that's what the series is named, the Elder Scrolls. This is Elder Scrolls 5, and yeah, tons. We're looking at over 80 hours again, 80 hours. And you get lost. Like, I get lost a lot. Like I get lost sometimes. Like I just lose track of the main story. I just want to go do this main quest, and tons of main quests. There's at least, oh my god, like there's at least 40 different quests side quests that I remember doing, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. Where there's tons more. There's tons more. 30 to 40. Yeah, there's lots to see. Call of Duty Black Ops 1, now again, same idea as Modern Warfare, except I really played a lot of zombies. You have campaign zombies multiplayer. I played a lot of the campaign. I replayed the campaign 4 to 5 times. A very good campaign, Cold War, conspiracy, America versus Russia, and all that. And with the zombies you can't just sit down and play. Like let's say if you play on a map, you can't just sit down and play a 1 hour zombies. You gotta play zombies for all 3 to 4 hours. So you gotta sit down like on a weekend day and just play through it. Just play through a certain map here. And with the mystery box luck, I can replay each zombie map, and then I see how your luck turns out. Where were you lucky to get this wonder weapon this time, or next time maybe you'll have better luck, or you wanna get you always wanna get Juggernaut first. Like that's my go-to. The Juggernaut perk, that's the most important perk. Anything that makes you more durable is very important. And multiplayer as well, that's adding another 50 hours into it. Multiplayer, you guys don't Call of Duty multiplayer where you play through to a lot more guns and kill streaks and maps and tons to see, and it's very competitive. And yeah, lots in the campaign. Now, number 2 is Bad Company 1. Bad Company 1 really is my favorite multiplayer game. A game with multiplayer in it, and the other campaign. Multiplayer I must have played endlessly. I could not get enough of the multiplayer, and it's one of the first multiplayer games that I played, really. This and Transformers 2, Revenge of the Fallen, which had a good multiplayer system. But with this one, it was really fun in that, like it's very, like it wasn't really, back in those times, it really introduced, you could really take advantage of vehicles, so you can take control of vehicles. You could drive a Humvee or a tank while in multiplayer, so you can really take advantage of that, so you can go around and again, everything in the environment is destructible, whether it be the floor, a building, a wall, a cement wall, or a structure, a bridge, so everything can be indestructible. Now, again, the multiplayer, there's I capture the flags, and then there's destroy these golden crates, which basically, like I play as 3 different factions, and then it'll be America, Russia, and then there's a Middle Eastern faction. Saudi Arabia, I can't remember, but there's a Middle Eastern faction that you play as well. Tons of maps, tons of vehicles, and the campaign as well. You play as these 4 guys. No, you play as him. And it's so good in that the chemistry between them though is really funny. They always have something to say, and it's really, really, really entertaining. Like, it's very entertaining, and you're going through these high action-packed moments and all that. But the multiplayer is what really added a lot of time. Number 1 is GTA 5. GTA 5. I can't find my games. Grand Theft Auto 5 multiplayer, and a massive open world and single player. And with it being really, you play the campaign through 3 different characters' point of view. You play as Trevor, Michael, Franklin. You guys know already. But replaying this, I must have replayed this like not even like 9 to 10 times. And it's one of those where like it all but never gets boring. It never gets boring. You want to see more. You want to see where it's leading. There's suspenseful moments where a character does this, and there's repercussions. There's the who can you trust. There's lots of that, which I spoke about already. But and then as well as that, you got this huge Los Santos is such a real world. It really, at the time, is like one of the best open world games, and lots of open world games try to mimic this now. Like going into like the balancing on side quests and things to do, but it's one of the open worlds where it doesn't feel empty. You can play tennis, which adds more to the playtime, man. You can invest in, let's say, like some sort of business. You can buy a business, and then that business you can do, like, there's something where Trevor can control a submarine, and the submarine will lead you to different areas, like different will add more collectibles to the actual story. And yeah, tons, like so much to see and so much to do, and as well as that, you got the multiplayer. No, over time, I'm not a big fan of the multiplayer, but it had a lot to offer. Where you can, again, you buy your own apartment, and you can buy your own cars, and I can even invest in the PS4 version even more so. You can you can buy, like, there are newer cars where there's the Pagani, Bugatti, Lamborghini. There's tons of new models of them, and you can buy like attack helicopters. There's even the Back to the Future cars where you can buy where it's the flying car. Yeah, it's really, really interesting, and there's missions as well in the multiplayer, which adds another 10 hours. So look at the single player, playing it through once, that's like 9 hours. The multiplayer, you're gonna be spending countless of time in it, and there's team deathmatch. So it's like playing, like, it's so versatile, where it's like playing Call of Duty. You can do races, online races. So all of that adds up to the playtime. It's a long. It's over 100 hours. It's really, 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 really long. Like super. You're gonna be spending countless of time into it. the campaign, like, that's one of those campaigns, again, every time you play through it, you always learn something new, or you always want to do something else, or approach it differently. So yeah, that's basically it. 15 Playtime. So 15 Uncharted 3, 14 Resident Evil 5, 13 God of War 1, 12 God of War, God of War 2, then God of War 1, 11 Last of Us 1, 9 Arkham City, 10, oh no no no, no, what am I saying? I mix up. 11 Last of Us, Infamous, number 10 is Infamous 1, 9 Arkham City, 8 Battlefield Bad Company 2, 7 God of War 3, 6 Infamous 2, 5 Modern Warfare 3, 4 Skyrim, 3 Black Ops, 2 Bad Company 1, and 1 GTA 5. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share the video.